Are you ready?
Welcome to another episode of Buff in the Rough. Today we'll hear from Allen Newby about Rock Bottom Kennels, the National Hunting Beagle Association, and a lot more. Help me welcome Allen to the program. Well, hey Allen, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing, Zane?
Oh, I can't complain. I really appreciate you coming on. I'm looking forward to learning some things about you that I don't know. And so I'm going to try to ask you some questions that I think, that I'd like to know, but maybe some other people would like to know about too. But let me just start out for people that maybe don't know who Allen Newby is. Could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe how you got into rabbit hunting?
Like I said, I'm Allen Newby. I'm from South Boston, Virginia. To be honest with you, Sam, when I was a teenager, we had rabbit dogs. Nothing to field trial or nothing, but I was really big into the deer hounds and running deer with hounds and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Probably until my daughter was born about 19, 20 years ago, and everybody got to running foxhounds, and they were going to these field trials, and I'm like, I can't afford that kind of thing. I think I'm gonna try rabbit dogs. It's a whole lot cheaper. Boy, was I mistaken. So I think somewhere around 19, 20 years ago, I kind of got started. I went with Larry and Bill Connor up here over to Kirk Douglas's club over at Allen Haynes Farm over in Sutherland, Virginia, and met a lot of good guys. Met Jeff and Corey Stacy, Master and Aldridge. I mean, a lot of good people over the years over there, and it kind of went from that. And I actually bought my first dog from Bill Connor. It was a dog named Rolling Hills Mr. Quick, and that kind of was the beginning of the end, I guess you would say. That was the beginning of it, and it's like, boy, it was. I really went into a sport that wasn't going to cost a lot.
Well, Alan, since you brought it up, I want to ask you about that because I've always thought foxhounds were pretty expensive to run. What's a good foxhound cost now? Like a good already made dog. What's a good foxhound run nowadays?
Most of the time, you'll see them foxhounds that go anywhere from $300 to $1,000, $1,500, and then you've got your big high dollar stud dogs, and it's not so much the hounds that are so expensive. It's the entry fees and the hunts and that type of stuff where, some of these hunts you go to is $50 per dog. And, I mean, a lot of these guys, you'll see them roll into them with, a whole truckload of dogs, 25 dogs. And you're like, my Lord, how in the world do they afford this? It's $50 a dog. And then that's only 1 day field trials. Then you got the 3 day field trials. And it's just, I enjoy it. I've did it, and I've had some foxhounds since, and did a little bit of field trialing with it, and I enjoy it, which I enjoy anything to do with dogs. It doesn't matter if I don't care what it is. Anything to do with a dog, and I can hear it bark, and I can hear it run, I'm hooked.
I love it. So you said maybe between $300 to $1,500 will get you a decent dog, decent foxhound. Compare that to rabbit dogs. What's a decent rabbit dog going to cost you?
Well, that's the thing. Back then, I think when I bought Quick, I'd give like $300 for him, and he was a really nice hound. He wasn't what I call a real competition dog, but he was a real rabbit dog that you could field trial. And I've seen dogs. I've seen rabbit dogs go anywhere from, on average, a decent rabbit dog. You see somebody, you get $500 to $1,000, but then, you run into somebody that pays $2,000 and $3,000. It's like I've explained to guys over the years that, they're like, man, there ain't no way that dog was worth that right there. But you got to understand, he was worth that to the man that bought him.
That's right.
All it matters.
That's right.
And then, so I've seen them go higher, I've seen them go cheaper. So It's kind of crazy, but it's all in what somebody wants. When that man wants him really bad, they don't mind paying for him. And I've had people tell me to put a price on a dog, and I wouldn't do it because I was showing the world scared they would come up and meet me, on some of these dogs that I didn't want to get rid of. And I've had people just offer me just stupid, outrageous things for a dog, and I'm like, nah, I can't do it.
Alan, I've heard all kinds of stories about even these old coon dogs back in the day. Man just really had his heart set on a coon dog, and he'd go try him out, and he'd just start laying down $100 bills and just tell the man selling him, just let me know when I need to stop.
Yeah, I seen a man do that down here in South Boston at the Virginia State hunt, a coon hunt, and I think that guy stopped him somewhere around 25,000.
Woo wee! Wow.
And that kind of, I went down there and watched that, and I'm like, well, I'm young, I can do this. And when I watched that, I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I couldn't even buy him for 300. Being young, but hey, it's like everything else. It's all in what you got.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, I was thinking about it today. I enjoy raising pups. I really love raising pups.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and I'm crazy. Other people love starting pups and stuff like that. I enjoy raising them. I am not a big fan of breaking a pup.
Mm-hmm.
I like to raise them till they're 6 months old, and then when they're 2 years old, that's when I love them again. Because a puppy is a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I fool with them, but still, it's just, I don't know. I just love to see a puppy from 6 weeks old, what I can make him in 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In my hair, and I just love that. So,
Alan, tell us a little bit about what it looks like where you are as far as hunting terrain. Now, you're in Virginia, but Virginia's kind of like my home state of North Carolina. You got mountains on one end, coast at the other, so it's very different depending on where you are in Virginia. But what's it like where you live?
We're a lot like down in Greensboro and High Point and all, like where Jeff Stacy and them are. We got a lot of farmland,
Mm-hmm.
little bit of cattle raised around here, but we used to be really big in tobacco around here. Now most people, they raise only grain anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a lot of cutover in pine thickets, not Christmas tree farms, but like when they clear cut the cutover and they plant it back in pines, and you have like maybe a 7-8 year window from the time it starts getting thick till it's, once they get a certain size, they kind of choke out the undergrowth, and you've got like a 10-year window on some of the land. So you're always looking for those little clear cut spots and pine thickets and stuff like that to run your dogs in.
That should be pretty good hunting.
Oh yeah, it is. It is until you have to go into one of those thickets and all them briars and get one of them, and then you kind of come out looking worse than the dog does. But all in all, I mean, I'm fortunate enough to have. I'm a member of the Deer Club here, and I also run my Lickskillet Beagle Club out of the same clubhouse, and we've got a lot of land leased and for the deer hunting, and we use a lot of that I'm able to run my dogs on. And the other guys in the club, they work with us really well. We do not kill any rabbits on hunting club land because we got so many people that own. We've probably got 10 people that own rabbit dogs, and they do the same thing I do. They run. I run year round. I don't run as much as some of the guys in the sport does, but my schedule doesn't allow it. But and like coming up in January through like April or May, I try and run at least 3 times a week. And it gets so hot here, let's say June and July and August. These 100-degree days we have, it's just so hard on a dog. You can't run them.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough that time of year. Well, Alan, tell us a little bit about some of the favorite hounds that you've had over the years. Because I know you've had some really,
Um,
really nice hounds. So what are some of your favorites?
yeah, I've been fortunate enough to have several really nice ones. Like I said, that first one that I bought was Quick. Quick was he was a really, really nice dog. Like I said, he wasn't the best field trial dog that I ever had, but he was an exceptional rabbit dog. Could jump a rabbit and do pretty good. Going over the years, I've had a really nice young dog named Scooter, but unfortunately, he didn't live past a year and a half. He ended up something went wrong with his gut, and I've had a lot of people that field trial with me never remember the dog X-Man, but his name was Rock Bottom Express. You know, I used to laugh because she had so many people that they're like, "What in the world is Hassenpfeffer?" And I'm like, "Did y'all live a sheltered life and never watch Bugs Bunny?"
Bugs Bunny. I love it. Yep.
Oh yeah, Hassenpfeffer. So, Brinko's Summer Day, and I guess that's one of the dogs that I probably had the most success with. I actually finished, I can't remember the years, finished third at the Nationals with her in the Champions.
Mm-hmm.
Seventh in the world 1 year with her, ninth in the world 1 year with her. She was just a very, very good dog. She was like a one-person dog, though.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't want many people. She wouldn't let many people touch her. And that was the thing about on a cast. You had to make it clear that they had to leave her alone.
Mm-hmm.
She unfortunately died giving birth to puppies.
Oh.
But I've raised a couple of. We raised a couple of decent pups out of her. But I guess the best dog that I ever had was that. I don't know if you ever remember running with her. Was that Rock Bottom Girl?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Girl was my once in a lifetime dog, and unfortunately, she was killed in 2017. I can never forget it, on like November the 4th. We had been running points that year, and we were leading the points. I had her in first, and X-Man was in second, and we had a pretty good lead on everybody. And I told the old boy running with me, I said, I don't really want to. It was a hunt in Maryland that weekend. I said, I want a weekend off. I said, I'm going to go rabbit hunting. Mm-hmm. And I went with a buddy of mine who lives up on the northern end of the county. And Joey told me, he said, don't take that dog. And I'm like, no, I'm going to take him. I said, I want to kill some rabbits in front of him. This is the first time for the year. Mm-hmm. I should have listened to him. She ended up getting shot. And I lost her. And that was really hard on Miss Am for a while.
I bet so.
That was really hard. She was really special to me, and luckily I've had a couple of more decent ones through it. Mm-hmm. The one that I guess is kind of taking a place now is old Rock Bottom Big Mac.
Yeah.
Old Mac is Mac now. He ain't the best one out there in the world, but he can hold his own, and I'm really pleased with him. And he's very close. I think I'm 10, 11 wins from making him Hall of Fame in UKC.
Oh, wow.
And really looking forward to it, hoping I can get that done this year. Mm-hmm. If I'm able to go. But I've had a lot of. I guess I'm fortunate to have as many really nice dogs, and I've got a lot. I've had a lot of other dogs that were really good dogs. Mm-hmm. I've been fortunate enough to have some good ones, and I really like raising my own. I'm not a big fan of buying, or going out here buying like a 3-4 year old dog or something like that.
Alan, there's just something special. there's just something special about raising your own puppy. There's nothing like it. I don't know that you can ever have
Yeah.
that bond that you do with that one you raise it on your own.
No, and I guess, I mean, you've seen it in coon hounds and everything else, and it's, I will go out and make a cross to somebody, and it doesn't bother me a bit. And a lot of people you see they're kennel blind, and they like, only mine. I can't breed to nothing else of mine. But me, I don't mind. If I see something else I like out there, I don't mind breeding to it. Yeah, I've done it. I go back and forth with Jeff Stacy, and I've always going back and forth breeding this one to that one, and he'll breed to one of my males, I'll breed to one of his females, just anything like that. I've actually got a couple of good pups now out of a couple of crosses that Mac's sister Elvira, I bred to Jeff Stacy's Freck dog, and we got some young dogs that are coming on really good. Hopefully we'll do some winning with those this coming year. They're really nice.
Well, Allen, you mentioned, you're not blind to seeing other dogs out there that are good, and you're not afraid to go get some if you see something that really catches your eye. What are some of those best hounds you've hunted with or against over the years? Because I know you've hunted at the highest level, finishing top 10 at the World Hunt multiple times. You've got more trophies and ribbons and plaques than about anybody else I know. What are some of those good hounds that you've hunted against over the years that really stick out to you?
It's been a lot. It's been a lot of good hounds. I had a guy ask me, I think it was probably getting close to a year ago, what was the best dog I ever saw in UKC? And he looked at me kind of funny when I told him what I told him. And I said, I can't sit here and tell you that there's one dog in 18 years that I stood out that I thought was just hands down better than any other thing I've seen. I've seen a lot of really, really nice hounds. But I don't, maybe I look at it different. No one dog just stands out like above everything else. And I'm not taking anything away from any of them, but I've run with Chubby Checkers of Roy Swafford's. I mean, he was an exceptional dog. I mean, just outstanding. Brian Lee's, Dez, and that Booty dog, both of those were exceptional dogs. Jeff Stacy's Freck dog, wild man of Jeff Stacy's. Kristen's Flame dog. It's just so many out there. I mean, Owen Doggerstein, his Mongo dog. I mean, he was a really nice hound. He got a nice little female up there. I like now too, Grace. She's a nice dog. Oh man, I don't know. It's just it's all kinds of dogs out there that just. I've seen a lot of good ones, and I've seen a lot of lucky dogs, Sam. I mean, you know what I'm talking about when I say a lucky dog.
Yep, I sure do.
I don't mean that the dog wasn't good. I'm just saying when I call them a lucky dog, it's like they catch all the break. Everything always goes their way. You know what I'm saying? And that's I'm not taking nothing away from the dogs, and I just love to have me one of those lucky dogs myself one day. But I've seen some good ones, and I think some of the ones that I've enjoyed running the most is I was fortunate enough to run Freck for Jeff Stacy a couple of years ago when he was sick, and I took Freck I think in July, and I brought him home, and I run him a lot. Freck was a temperamental dog. Freck was kind of like that Diane dog. It was like a 1 or 2 person dog. You know what I'm saying? You didn't want a lot of people messing with him. That's just the way he was. And I went to McVeigh's, and I got his 5th win for his clash. He was already qualified for the world, and I told Jeff Stacy that year, I said, if you get that dog qualified, I will run him in the world. And I told him before I went, I said, I'm going to win the world hunt for you. Unfortunately, I come up short. I finished 3rd. But Freck was probably one. It was almost like I had that girl dog on the end of my leash again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was, that the bond I had with girl, I could look at her body language and tell that she knew a rabbit was there or she was about to jump. And Freck is the same way. You just look at that dog. That dog, he's, I guess what I'm saying is some dogs are real intelligent and they know just exactly where to look at to find a rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
And Freck is one of those dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed running that dog. And it meant more to me because I was able to do what I could do because Jeff was under the weather. And even though I finished third, it was a first for me,
Hey, Alan, I think a lot of people were pulling for you that year. I mean, you were. I think you were the sentimental favorite by far. But what an accomplishment to make it to that final cast.
I was crushed that next day when we fell short, but I was also honored and pleased.
Mm-hmm.
That meant just as much to me. I mean, it's if he'd have been my own dog,
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I finished 7th and 9th with Diane, and that was really special. But I guess that weekend was probably one of my, I guess it's been the highlight of the whole time I've been running dogs.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to ask.
Being able to call Jeff and say, "Hey, we got through this round," So
Mm-hmm.
that meant so much to me.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask you a similar type question, but if you could put together like a dream cast, I mean, just 4 dogs, they can be yours, they can be other people's, they can be living, they could be dogs from the past that are no longer with us. But if you could put together like a dream cast of 4 dogs that you'd like to see go, like what would those dogs be?
I would really love to see how some of the old school hounds with a couple of the new school stuff, like just say, for instance, I love Brinko and I love Northway. My Pete dog down here goes to Indian Hills Major. I forgot to mention him earlier. He's one of the best dogs. He was still winning field trials at 11 years old. I guess I could say maybe Northway Driver, maybe one of the old school Brinkos, straight out of Canada, out of Brinko's kennel, and I guess maybe Mystery Man, Driver, and I would love to have seen how my girl dog stacked up to it, and just something like Freck in there, just to compare today to yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a real fun cast to watch.
If you had to go to Vegas and put down some money on it, who's going to win that cast?
That's going to be a tough one. That would be a tough one. I don't think it was going. I don't think it's going to be it ain't going to be like on one of them old race horses with a 50-1 odds. I think it's going to be some real close odds in there. And I mean, me knowing what I know about girl, how she was, and running with Freck. I mean, I've run with Freck from the time he was a puppy till, Jeff very seldom ever runs him now. But I would put money on them too against them old school dogs. But I've also know what them old school dogs do too. So, and I know what they threw as puppies over the years. So, I guess that's just one of them things I would really love to see it if I could see, see like that Mystery Man and see like Northway Drive or either Spur or something like that in that with that would be. I'd have to put money on every dog, I don't know how I could do it any other way. I couldn't pick one out of the 4.
I love it. Alan, talk us through some of your favorite moments. Over the years you've competed a lot, but maybe some memories that really stand out to you. You mentioned the run that you had with Freck while Jeff was on the bench for a little while, and you came out and really made that run to the final cast, made it to number 3 spot in the world. Are there any other hunts or any other experiences out there that are memorable for you?
Oh, it's been a lot of them. I can't remember the exact. It was. Yes, I can. I can tell you what year it was. It was 2018 in Missouri. It was NHBA days. We used to have the runoff on Friday. It was myself, Trevor McQueen, and it was a gentleman out of Missouri. Unfortunately, I can't remember his name. We had a 3-dog final. We had run 3 rounds that day, and I thought that running in Virginia could wear a dog out, and Briars really worked on one until I went to Missouri. And I'll never forget that because I think Roy Swafford was the master hounds. My non-hunting judge was Josh Ware, and I forget who the other one was. I ended up finishing 3rd.
Wow.
In that I had sucked. I had 200 minuses.
Woo.
Finished 3rd in the cast, and still didn't lose by about, I want to say it was less than 10 points. That was one of the best casts I've had, and I really enjoyed that cast. Some of my most memorable casts has always been with Corey Stacy. And it got to the point the last few years, a lot of times if Corey was going out and he wasn't running a dog, I wouldn't even run a dog. I'd just go sit on the tailgate and sit with Corey. That kind of meant more to me than running the dog, and we just sit and listening to the dogs. But I guess, a lot of times in Tennessee, my daughter, Elena, come back. It was, I think it was the Eliminator in Tennessee. She come back, and her thing was, Elena, when she come back off of a cast, a lot of people, you look at them and tell, okay, they didn't do no good on that cast. They come back, you can look at the face and tell they're a little disappointed. And Elena, you couldn't do that. Elena got her truck laughing and carrying on just like she did when she went out there. But I'll never forget this particular day right here, and she was running Old Pete, and I think she was actually running against Freck. Jeff had Freck. She come back there. She ended up getting high-scoring youth that day. It was NHBA days, I think, in Tennessee. But this kid come back, and you'd have thought she had won $1 million when she got her that truck. Because she come back and she beat Jeff Stacy and Freck. And with Old Pete. And
I love it.
It wasn't only just with me handling dogs, you seen the kids. And I really enjoyed seeing the kids over the years and telling my age some now.
Well, I want to. This really reminds me of a question I want to ask you, and I try to ask it to everybody if I can remember it. But it was such a thrill for her to beat Jeff, and it seems like there's, you always want to have your best A game on when you're facing some of these really competitive people and these really competitive hounds. Is there anybody out there that you like to beat just a little bit more than you like to beat anybody else?
Oh yeah, I like to beat Jeff Stacy. But he also likes to beat me, and unfortunately, he beats me more than I beat him. But no, it's always fun, and that's one thing. I tell you, some of the funniest best casts I have is when Jeff and myself joined with Christian. Between both of us, we have Christian so mad within an hour she's ready to kill both of us. But to me, it's. That's one thing people don't understand, and I go back. Everyone most of the people I met that 19 years ago at that hunt, a lot of us were still running together. And I mean, that's just a friendship and a bond, like with Jeff Stacy. I mean, people don't understand. Yeah, I go to Missouri. Yeah, I go to Tennessee. Yeah, I go to Ohio. But here's the thing. I'm going to Ohio. I'm going to Tennessee, and I'm going here with Jeff, and also my buddy Kevin Weaver. He's my best friend from up in West Virginia. We're all going there. It's like we're still family. It don't matter if we're in Missouri. You see us, and we're all together. We're like one big family. And to me, that's what I love about UKC is, we may not be as big as, some of the other ones, but I mean, it's like one big family. We're like a family.
Mm-hmm.
Today hey, everybody's getting along. Tomorrow, so-and-so's mad at so-and-so. But the good thing about it is we get over it. It's like family. We come back together.
That's right.
And that's what I love about UKC. And,
well, speaking of UKC and kind of traveling around, going to Missouri and other places, do you have a favorite club or a favorite part of the country that you like to hunt in, maybe a little more than other places?
When I first started, one of my favorite places to run was Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee, back in the day when the Christmas trees were at their peak and, growing good, and you had the Woody Crowders, the Art Finners, and,
mm-hmm.
of course, we still got Ronnie and Thomas Brown.
Oh, yeah.
They were super nice guys. I really enjoyed Tennessee. And I really enjoy going to Missouri. Missouri, I think, unfortunately, when we went to Missouri this year, if I had to say out of the 5 or 6 times that I've been out there, this time, as far as the running wise, was the worst that I'd ever had. Mm. But they were in like a 3-month drought, so the running was really tough. But I enjoy Missouri a lot, and Ohio's always fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You get a lot of rabbits, and there's a lot of clubs places that I hadn't been. I'm really looking forward to. I want to go to a couple of the clubs in New York. I've never been to a club in New York, and it's kind of on my list this year to make it up there. But I guess Indiana's always fun to run.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a lot of rabbits out, but
mm-hmm.
I think out of everywhere that I've been, Missouri and Tennessee are probably 2 of my biggest favorites.
I want to ask you a little bit about the different dogs that are out there. There's different formats, different registries, and the dogs seem to be successful in different formats. Sometimes requires a little different kind of dog, but for the format you run in, the United Kennel Club format, what kind of dog does it take to win?
To me, out of everything that I've tried, I've run some AKC, run some PKC and everything else, a couple of the other ones. But to me, the UKC format more resembles the rabbit dog that your granddaddy had. Maybe not speed-wise, because we run a lot faster dog now than we did back then, but it's all about the jump, and it's all about the speed and drive, and it's about holding the track and stuff like that, to where, excuse me, some of the other formats, it's all about, they put more focus on speed and drive, where other formats, they don't care about jumping. All they worried about is, they're sliding up and running together. But to me, in our format, it's almost like we cover it from the time you jump it to the time you speed and drive to the time you lose it. Mm-hmm. And we've got it covered from beginning to end, and it's more like just your everyday rabbit dog. You can't just say, oh, he's just fast, but he can't jump a rabbit. To be successful in this, you got to have a dog. You ain't necessarily got to have a jump dog, but you got to have a dog that can jump a rabbit. Mm-hmm. And you need a dog that's got pretty decent foot on him. But you also need that dog that can keep that track between his legs and run it like he ought to. Mm-hmm. So, and I know some of the other formats may not agree, but to me, I think we cover the basic rabbit dog. He's got to be straight up a nice hound to do what we do in our sport.
Mm-hmm. Well, one thing I failed to ask you earlier, and I meant to, was how did you come up with the name for your kennel, Rock Bottom? Where did that come from?
It's kind of crazy, but it didn't. When I was a teenager, buddy of mine, he gave me a lab puppy, he gave a buddy of mine a puppy and gave me a puppy. And back then, kind of like all young teenagers, we were all into this wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
You saw on TV. Well, one of my favorite wrestlers was The Rock. So I named that lab puppy Rock. And on his papers, his name was Rock Bottom Newby. So, and because I used to laugh, I'd go out of town working. My mother would say, "Oh, you ain't calling here to check on your dad. You just calling to check on that damn dog." But that dog he really meant a lot to me. And I don't know, I just kind of, when I got my rabbit dogs and started naming them, I'm like, I like that Rock Bottom, and that's kind of where it was, and that's kind of
so you
stuck with me from the beginning. But it was all about that first. Had nothing to do with a rabbit dog, just an old Labrador dog, a black lab.
So you're ready to layeth the smacketh down.
That's right. And I was talking about that with my buddy. He named his Rattler after Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Mm-hmm.
But yep, it come from the wrestling. That's where that Rock Bottom come from.
Wow. Well, I did want to ask you, for anyone out there that's considering maybe going to an event or maybe just getting into rabbit hunt period, but getting into the competition side, do you have any advice for people?
Yes. My whole thing with it, don't buy into all the hype and all this that people tell you. You got to have this and you got to have that. The main thing you've got to understand is, don't go out here and just buy the latest. Just because a dog wins the world hunt today, don't say, "Oh, I got to have a pup out of him."
Mm-hmm.
You raise your hounds, you break your hounds, and you condition your hounds, and you run your hounds the way you want them to. Because at the end of the day, that dog on the end of your lead has to please no one but you.
Mm-hmm.
You are the only person that has to approve of that dog, and as long as you're happy with him, that's the style of dog you need.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come into the sport. I guess my biggest thing is, don't come into the sport thinking you're supposed to win all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because you as well as I know, you lose more than you win.
I sure do.
And I mean, you and I have run together a lot in different, in different states and everything else. And I guess, I don't know if I'm sure you remember, I'm kind of harder on my hand than I am yours.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot,
yep.
I won't pay my dog a lot of times. If I don't think my dog deserves it, I'm not going to pay.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of hold my dog to a higher standard when I'm judging than I do anybody else's, because that's the last thing I want is a man walking around with, he did all that so his dog could win. I really don't like that. I want, I really want the best dog to win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into the sport and the sport's got so much more to offer than just winning.
Mm-hmm.
It's got, just the camaraderie and just going different places and meeting new people. Just enjoy it. Have fun.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, is having fun. And that's what I preach to these kids, over the years. I've been, Jeff Stacy and I both have been, we've always pushed the kids and, over the years to get in it and have fun. We've hauled kids up and down the road. One of them that I hauled forever was Aaron Collins. Aaron's in his 20s now. He's not a kid anymore, but he still runs hounds. And fortunately, he's back into the competition hunting now, and he's doing really well with a couple of dogs. But fun. That's what it's all about, is fun.
Allen, that is terrific advice and a great opportunity to kind of change the topic a little bit, because this is something I really wanted to ask you about. I know you're passionate about it, is the National Hunting Beagle Association. Could you tell us a little bit about what that is and kind of how it works, and just share whatever you want to about NHBA?
Well, the NHBA is the National Hunting Beagle Association. We're the charter breed association for the hound and hunter format of UKC. without your papers, I can't tell you. The years ago, Angie Vandergrift, Denny Dugan, Dale Pruney, and all of them, Jeff Stacy, Roy Swafford, all of them kind of set this thing up. And fortunately, I want to say it's probably been 2018 or 19. I was asked if I would consider accepting a nomination to become president. I did because I really thought we could do so much to help the sport and raise the money, and I'm actually very proud. I'm honored that I did do it, and I became president, and I've been president now for maybe 4 years, 5 years. I can't remember. I'm bad with dates, but the bank accounts have really doubled. We got, I've got board members. I got 8 board members, and we got officers. We've got an exceptional group of guys and young ladies and women that work together, and they work together well. We do everything about NHBA. We give 100% back to UKC Hound and Hunter format. We have the biggest prize package in UKC. We pay out the top 8. We spend anywhere from, I think our total prize package monetary, if we had to put a price tag on it, it's going to be somewhere around $19,000
Wow.
per year. The top 8 in points, we pay out. They win some type of a Garmin jacket, blankets with the dogs on it, just all kinds of stuff. Then we've been doing like the top 4 kids, but this year coming up, I'm glad to say that we're doing the top 8 kids this year also.
Fantastic.
And we are very, very fortunate to have Purina on board with us. Purina, 99% completely, sponsors everything about the kids. Everything they cover the whole kids thing, prize package, and we're very, very fortunate to have that relationship with Purina. We've been on board with them before I come on board to UK. Come on board as president. So my thing, we give scholarship out. We give anywhere from 1 to 5 scholarships out a year, ranging anywhere from $500 to $1,500 per kid. And we do, you don't have to run a rabbit dog to get a scholarship. So we don't turn any kid away. Even if they don't run a rabbit, if they don't never hunted a rabbit dog in their life, we don't turn them away. We give them something. We don't. It's all about giving back to the kids also, and I'm very proud of that. A couple of other things we've started. This is the first year we did a. As I said, we give back to the members. We did a gun of the year, and it went back to a paying member. We gave a TriStar 28 gauge over and under away. This year was our gun of the year, and we kind of gonna mimic it after like the Turkey Federation, the gun of the year type of thing. And we're trying to get it worked out to where we do that for an adult member, and we're gonna try and get it worked out to where we have a youth. We're going to get them a gun and give it back to them, a member, youth member. We're working on that right now, but hopefully we can keep this going. But and I say this, and some people may say, "Oh, that's not a big membership," but it really is. Right now we've got 216 active members, which is really big for us. For our sport, and
that's a good number.
Really proud of. To me, NHBA's over the last few years, and with the help of all these good people on the board and the officers, has grown in leaps and bounds. It's just unreal at the support we get. I'm just tickled to death. I'm so proud to be a part of the organization. And if I was not president anymore after this year, I would continue to wholeheartedly support it and do all I could to make it better, even if I wasn't an officer, because it does so much to promote the sport as well as the kids. Because without the kids, we don't have these other, we don't have nobody coming in, and unfortunately, we're all getting older.
Yeah.
We got to have these young ones to come in and take our place, So I enjoy seeing these young guys come, these young kids and girls. Mm-hmm. We got some pretty tough competitors out there now that are young ladies.
Yes, we do.
And we got one in Indiana. She's pretty hard to handle, but she holds her own. We've got some good kids in Michigan. We got good kids all over the country. Participating in the sport, and that just makes me smile.
Well, that's one of the things that I really like about NHBA that I get excited about. It's a very good organization from where I sit, and you do have a good leadership team there. They're very active, but I love what you do for the kids. I love giving back to the sport and seeing the programs where folks can go compete year long for wonderful prize packages. But I really do appreciate what you guys do for the kids. Now, how do people become members? Could you talk to us? Is that a January to December membership thing? Is that something? Can people join now for next year? How do you do that?
We do a membership drive that'll start in January. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, to be eligible for the top 8 prizes or to get NHBA points, and to be honest with you, to be eligible to run in the class, you have to be an NHBA member, or either you have to pay a $25 entry fee, extra $25 if you're not an NHBA member to get into that $10,000 money hunt mm-hmm. that they have in April, UKC that we have in April. If you were not a member, you have to pay an extra $25, but mm-hmm. to UKC, which they in turn give to us, so you basically join in anyway. But
right.
We pushed the membership, and our signature hunt is NHBA days. That's our hunt. I mean, it's all about NHBA days. It's all about us. It's the one time that you absolutely for sure will have your whole board, your board members, your officers, and everyone in one location is at NHBA days. And it's always a good time, no matter where it's at. And we're going to be in Coshocton, Ohio this year, up at Dave McVeigh and Melvin McVeigh and Trennis and all those guys agreed to take NHBA days this year. So we're really looking forward. We hadn't been in Ohio in quite a few years now, so we're really looking forward to going back to Ohio in March for NHBA days. That's going to be good. I mean, we hadn't been there in quite a few years, so really looking forward to that. To get back to the membership, there again, you have to be a member to be eligible for the gun of the year that we draw at the end mm-hmm. of the year. We do so many different things to raise money also. We do what you call a penny raffle, and we always raffle off a gun or a Garmin Alpha combo or something. But the last few years we did guns at the Nationals, and we have sponsorship now, and that's one thing we get. We have I know you've seen the banner we got with the different companies on it. Mm-hmm. We get sponsors now, and we try and get like 8 to 10 sponsors and get those guys to commit to giving us $500 worth of merchandise a year, whether it be gift cards or collars or just whatever. And we've been pretty fortunate enough to have some good sponsors over the years. And this year is actually a new year. We're actually looking for one more sponsor. If anybody would like to step up and sponsor, we're one sponsor short on the banner for the year, so we're still working on that. But anybody wants to do it, just contact me. I'll be glad to get you hooked up with Shelly, and we'll get you on that banner for the next 3 years.
That's a great opportunity for somebody. So,
Oh, absolutely.
if people want to learn more, do you guys have a website, a Facebook page? Like, where
We
can?
have a Facebook page. The website, that kind of played out. We have a Facebook page, the National Hunting Beagle Association page.
Mhm.
Anybody can join. Anybody can get on it. But I kind of got off topic a little while ago. We're talking about everything else. To become a member, any hunt that you go to and there is an NHBA representative, whether it's a board member, a president, vice president, or whatever, and most clubs that you go anywhere in the country, they will have an NHBA sign-up sheet
Mm-hmm.
to sign up and do your membership. We also have gold members, and your gold members are voting members. To become a gold member, you have to pay us a $50 one-time fee, and after that, it's $25 a year for your membership from that point on. But it's any hunt that you go to, you can see somebody. Most every hunt there is like that as a UKC hunt. That there's a NHBA representative there that
Mm-hmm.
will be glad to sign you up, get your membership going. But we have the sectional hunts and that type of stuff is where these guys get their points for the top 8 prize packages, and the kids get their youth points and that type of thing. But we have that list on the website, on the Facebook page as well. So
Very good.
yeah, just like I said, most of every state hunt in the country is an NHBA hunt also.
Mm-hmm.
Across the country, every state hunt out there is also an NHBA double points hunt, meaning that you get double points for those hunts. And the super sectionals are the same way. You get double points for those. But you have a lot of clubs that have just a regular sectional hunt.
Mm-hmm.
They get points. And we're proud to. I mean, like I said, we have probably at least 50 hunts about every year that are sectionals and NHBA super sectionals across the board from one end of the country to the other. So participation really, I mean, we go from here to Tennessee to New York to Missouri, all the way out to even got clubs in Iowa out there doing some NHBA hunts.
Fantastic.
Proud of the organization. I'm pleased to be a part of it.
Well, I can understand why. It's a very good organization. It's done a lot for the hunters and for the kids too. And thank you again for sharing so much with us, and not only about yourself and Rock Bottom Kennels and your hounds, but also about NHBA. But as we kind of wrap up, is there anything that I didn't ask you about that I should have, or is there anything else that you want to cover or promote? One thing that I do know about you, just from knowing you over the years, you don't really promote your hounds much, but you have some really good hounds. But do you ever offer your dogs for stud, or how does that work? How would people find out more about what you have?
Like I said, I don't push my dogs on anybody. I mean, I don't claim to have the best dogs out there, and I don't turn a man down. If a man come to me and wants to breed anything I got, he's more than welcome, man or woman. If he wants to breed to any male dog I've got, happy to do it. I don't turn anybody down. I'm just a phone call away. And I wouldn't list my dog in a stud fee, in a stud book. That's just not me. I don't know. I just wouldn't do it. But like I said, if you wanted to breed to any male dog I got down there in that kennel, all you got to do is call me, and if I got to come to you to help you, I'll do whatever I can to help you and help you get some puppies and whatever. But I don't know.
Alan,
I just don't know.
you're just a true Southern gentleman. That's all.
Yeah, I learned a long time ago, when you brag on a dog, if you want a dog to make a fool there, all you got to do is brag on him.
So true. Well, Alan, I really do really appreciate you taking time out. I know you're busy, and you got a lot going on with the hounds and with life, and then also being president of NHBA and some other things. But thank you so much for taking time to share a little bit about yourself with us. I really do appreciate it.
Well, Well, I sure do appreciate you, and I thank you for asking me to be on. And all I can say is join NHBA, get a kid involved in hunting. It don't matter if it's squirrel hunting, rabbit hunting, or what it is, but get a kid into hunting. That's what it's all about.
That's it. You're exactly right. Thank you, Alan. That's terrific advice.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Buff in the Rough, and remember to like and subscribe if you want to be notified when we have new content available. And please send comments and suggestions to buffintherough@gmail.com.